strongly feel that if you're going to think about yourself, you won't be a good entrepreneur. I'm not saying that you can't be, but you're less likely to be a good entrepreneur. You want to be an entrepreneur to do some activity, right? And that activity is for whom? It's a service to a consumer, or it's a product to a consumer, or something to one whom you are going to work for. Now, if you're going to think about him, a better solution to him, a better product for him, I'm 100% sure you're going to succeed as an entrepreneur. Because then you're providing a service to him or you're manufacturing a product to him. So, what you need to have is, what you're going to do is, you have a real interest in doing it. The sum and substance of this is that you are not running after money. If you run after money, only misery will follow you. I can tell you for sure. But if you're going to run after performance, if you're going to run after what you want to deliver, that means you have a passion for doing that work, then the success will follow you. This is my mantra to you all people. So you need to think about it and reevaluate yourself, whether you're in the right field, you have an interest and a passion for that product. And if you have passion, at least if you don't have, develop a passion for this. You get an interest on that product, interest on that servicing, and you want to excel in that area, and I'm sure you will be a successful businessman. That is my mantra to you. The second thing which I like to tell you, if you're going to work and do service to a consumer and you want to do your best, right? It's like loving somebody. Clear? When you love somebody, what happens? You take less and give him more. Am I right? But is it a good business sense? If you give him more and take less, you're going to be in loss. So how do you define? Isn't it contradictory? At one stage I said you have to care for about people. Second stage I'm saying, okay, you have to do business. And how do you judge a business? You judge a business by the amount of profit. And how do you make a profit? You make a profit only if you give him less and take more. Am I right? Am I right or wrong? So how do you do that? I want you to serve him, I want him to understand it, that yes, he got the better of it. Simultaneously, I want you to make profit. Well, the mantra is creating values. You have to create value in what you do. Creation of value is a perception of a person who consumes your product or who uses your service has to understand he got a certain value out of it, which is much lower than your cost. You must be wondering how it is possible. Well, you go to a market, you buy a shirt, you can buy a shirt for 50 rupees. You get a cloth and get it stitched, you can get it for 50 rupees. But you go to a designer shirt, it costs you $1,000, $2,000. A customer is ready to pay $2,000 and still feel, oh, I got the best shirt in the world. But the cost is only 50 rupees. So what's the difference? What a designer has done, a designer has added value to the product. Am I right? So you can add value in everything. You go and buy a car, the car costs you, say about 5 lakhs rupees to you, but the price of that product is much lesser. But after buying the car, you still feel, oh, I got it at discount. It's a good thing. So in business and as an entrepreneur, you need to think it's a win-win situation for everybody. You have to win, he has to win, and that win can happen only by adding value to a product. As an enterprise, what you need to work is on your intellectual properties. You have to come out with ideas which are unique to the other people. And what you will get is a value from those ideas. And you need to create those intellectual properties. So my submission to you all people is, keep looking at ideas, keep looking at making them as intellectual property. Your designs can be registered today in India. Your trademarks can be registered in India. You can have patents registered in India. And these are the things in future will carry, not the manufacturing basis. Manufacturing basis, there will be companies, there will be lower value additions. To a manufacturing company, you can go and say, this is what is going to cost you, I'm going to pay you 15% more, and they will manufacture for you. That's it. And that's what the whole of US is doing today. So what you need to do is create the intellectual property. And the third most important thing today in all enterprises for a budding entrepreneur, I'll say, is branding. It is the branding which is your value and which is going to take you far longer. Every time think of branding, because how do you think people have no time today to differentiate which is good, which is bad? In the old times, if people used to buy something, they used to talk to 10 people. They used to have their experiences taken up. Is this good or bad? And then used to decide what to buy. Do you think today you have a time to buy in this world of internet, Facebook, where you have so much communication coming, so much activity doing? So how will you decide which to buy? Is what the brand will create in your mind space. So a brand is going to create a certain space in your mind, and that space is going to remain for a long time. Although it's a dynamic space, it will keep on changing. It will go up, go down, whatever happens in the market. But it is the branding which is going to make a big difference to all activities. Well, it has happened to me. What I have done in my organization is a wonderful concept of branding. I came into water purifier industry where there was a direct marketing experience from Eureka Forbes, and the brand was popular only by word of mouth. And I decided that I have a good product, how to put it forth in the market. I said the differentiator is the branding. I went through intellectual properties, I got a lot of patents and designs and registration done for my product, which is a unique differentiator which will take me for a long time that I can sustain that business. And then I said the branding. And we continue to invest in our branding only for sake of creating a perception and occupying a space in the mind of the consumer. And that's what's going to happen to all entrepreneurs. Well, that's the way to scale up. That's what I would like to submit here. And I would always say to the budding entrepreneurs, always create a niche for yourself in this competing environment. Today you will have more competition. It's easy to start business, but please understand you will have more competition. More and more people are entering into entrepreneur space. So there will be competition. Competition is good because it creates a category for that product. Suppose in India, let's say about 20, 30 years back, there was no fashion in India. People used to go and buy the clothes. Even today the commodities are going to get branded, right? So the competition is going to go up. In a competitive space, create a niche for yourself and have a unique proposition for your product or services which you want to do. And that is what is going to create value for you, and that will take you longer. And my advice to you all budding entrepreneurs is think big. Think big. Scale it up, because unless you think, you cannot act upon this. So think big and dream. Unless you dream, you can't be big.